Hey there, this is Pam Perry. So we are getting started with the branding blueprint. Hey there, letting people in here. Those that show up, go up. Hey, how are you? Good to see you, good to see you. So I'm going to put it in mode here. Hey there. So before we get started, I wanted to say something really quick. Hey there. This month's essence, all right, you see it here. Got Cardi B and Offset on the cover here. Well, obviously, you know, that sells magazines and that sort of thing. So welcome. Just before we kind of get started, I want to give you a little background. So I get magazines. Obviously I'm the publisher of Speakers Magazine. That's one of my magazines, this one here. And, you know, we got different magazines and stuff. So I've always loved magazines. So I've always subscribed and gotten the magazines, or either I buy them at the store. But this particular one talks about Quinta Brunson on the cover. All right. Besides Cardi B. So I go down here and you read that. One little quick tip about marketing, branding, and PR is that when there are magazines that have cover stories, those are trending topics, obviously. But one of the main things is that you can kind of what they call piggyback on those type of stories or newsjack those type of stories. So this one talks about newsjacking about Quinta. So any Abbott fans out there, anybody that loves like Abbott Elementary fans. So Quinta's story was written by Veronica Wells. Veronica Wells is a freelance reporter with the Essence magazine. So how many people want to get an Essence magazine, right? It's like, oh, I want to get an Essence magazine. So first of all, I say, study the magazine, read the magazine, get to know the people who write for the magazine. But Quinta is almost like an Issa Rae. It talks about how she did YouTubes and Instagram before she got her big break. And so not really knowing the full story of how Quinta got started, it's really interesting to see. And so one of the things that I love about Quinta, and I just kind of found this interesting, was that she said she knew for a long time that she was an internet baby, right? She was born in 1989. Could be my almost granddaughter. But one of the things, she grew up on the internet seeing things go viral. And one of the things that she did, she said, is that she really wanted to be on Saturday Night Live. That was her thing. And so she did things that would lead to wanting to be on Saturday Night Live one day. That meant enrolling in improv classes, which she did. It meant getting on stage, learning how to write and act in comedy type of work. Obviously, she studied. And so obviously she had a gift because that's why she's good at what she does, but she also had to study her craft. And really the main thing, the internet proved to be her launch pad, because when she moved from Philly, you know, she's from Philly, out to LA, she was working at the Apple store. And eventually she had to figure out how she was going to really do the darn thing, leave her 9 to 5 and take a chance on her career. She was working at BuzzFeed. She went from Apple to working at BuzzFeed as a producer. She was good and obviously had the skill set for comedy because she had studied it. And then she left BuzzFeed to do full time. So anyway, that's one of the stories that I just want to say really quick. If you don't read, and I figure a lot of you all, I see Alicia on here and Camus, get Essence magazine. And one of the things I will say is that if you do have a story that you love from Essence and magazine, so many times we want to be on the magazines, or we want to be in the television shows, or we want to be on the large podcasts. Let the author of that particular article know that you read it and that you loved it, that you liked it. How do you find them? They're everywhere. Most media people are on Twitter. So before I get into my presentation, I'm going to, oh, okay, let me make sure I admit everyone into the waiting room. Hey there. I'm just going away and I'm not admitting everyone. I apologize. I'm Pam Perry. Welcome, 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 welcome. And so Alicia Camus and you guys, you kind of heard the backstory, but I was basically talking about Essence magazine this month with Cardi B and Offset on the cover. And there was also a feature story on Quinta as well. So I want to make sure that, and make sure you all mute your mics too, please. That'll be great. mute. There you go. There's Carmen. Hey there. So I'm going to have Carmen and Judge actually speak a little bit as well, and then I'll keep it going. But I welcome. Hey, Nemo. Welcome, welcome. Saw you on Clubhouse yesterday. Excellent, excellent. And so just a side note about Essence Magazine, please pick that up. Read about Quinta. Realize that she does study her craft. It wasn't just like a fluke. The girl was really doing the darn thing. So right now, hey, Kimberly. Right now, I really want to get into our presentation here for the branding blueprint. Okay. And I'm going to get to this in a second. But yeah, I really wanted you all to know about Essence, because a lot of us want to be in these publications, but we have to support them. And we have to also make sure that we let those who are doing the writing or the edit, the reporting, that we enjoy that. That means sharing it out, retweeting them, doing all those type of things. Dr. Carmen knows that I'm a really, really big fan of Black media. And I always say that, you know, reach out to them. They're real people, and you want to do that. So I'm going to share my screen really, really quick. And I'm going to bring up Carmen. But just give you a little bit of background. Hey, Eric, glad you could make it today, sir. All right, cool. So this whole webinar is really about branding blueprint, okay? The Brand Accelerator blueprint. And so many times I've been doing this for a while, 3 decades or so. But one of the things that I find that most people are missing when we're talking about branding is some of the basic elements. So many times we just want to shoot out the cannon and just land. But there's some sequential things that we need to do. And Carmen will tell you that it's probably not the most fun thing to do, but just like a person who has to learn, graduate from high school, graduate from college, master's, PhD, you just don't jump to it right away, right? So there's some work that's involved. So who am I? Okay. Who am I? Before I get to the blueprint. One of the things that I always say, doesn't matter so much about what you say about yourself, it's about what other people say about you. A brand is really about that. A brand really is, there's Kiara, good. Thank you, Kiara, because I want you to speak after Dr. Carmen. One of the things that you have to realize about a brand, it's not necessarily what the brand says about itself, it's what other people feel about the brand, how that brand is perceived by other people. I always say that a brand is what people say about you after you leave the room. It's more like a reputation or personality. But for me, branding is what I've done all my life. And it's not that I've done these things for the accolades, but it's a blessing to get the accolades. So one of the accolades I got being in business for 22 years was the National Association of Women Business Owners Award for one of the top 10 women in business in Michigan. So that was really, really cool. And then the magazine, which is my baby, it's 5 years old now, won an award for the magazine. There's Judge. Excellent, excellent. Won an award as the best publication by SpeakerCon, which is really, really cool. And then Core Magazine, that was just one I just threw up there this year, was 2022 as one of the honorees of one of the most influential Blacks in America. Primarily, my background for the last decade or so has been in print, radio, and television. I've worked in major newspapers, Detroit Free Press. I've worked in radio stations, like Clear Channel. I've worked with magazines. I've worked with nonprofits. I've been director of PR, different things. But my joy and my sweet spot is working with speakers and authors. Working with all the publishers. Hey, Priscilla. Oh, excellent, excellent. One of the things I've worked with, Harvest House, Harrison House, Zondervan, Moody, all the presses, Random House, because literary books, this is Jeff's book here, I just did Amazon Live, are one of the things I really, really enjoy and love and promoting. When you are an author, you're an authority, you're an expert in the field, which is easier for a publicist, someone like me, to promote you because you do have a book and you speak and you're a subject matter expert and you can get the radio, TV, and the print and the accolades, and also grow your business, whether you're going to do consulting, whether you're going to be doing coaching, whether you're doing online courses. There's so much that goes with the speaker business. So that's enough about me. You didn't come here for that. You kind of know who I am. Google me. No. So right now we're going to go behind the curtain. All right. So behind the curtain of the Brand Accelerator, I'm gonna have you really look over my shoulder and see how the program works and runs. One of the things that I really want you to know is not about information, it's about implementation. And so I want you to hear from some of the implementers that I have worked with in this program. And it's not, because you can get the information anywhere, you could Google it, but I actually sit with these particular cohorts for a period of 12 weeks. So Carmen, Dr. Carmen, I see you on. Yeah, Dr. Carmen Thomas. And then Kiara, you can come on after Dr. Carmen, but I want Dr. Carmen to come on right now if she can, and unmute. Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. Okay, there you are.
You look like you're 25 over there.
No, thank you, thank you.
You are.
I've been in business 22 years. My company is 22 years, and I'll be 60. What is this? 62 this month. Okay, so that's one of the blessings. I always say George Fraser is my mentor, and he says, you know, life don't really get started until you hit about 70. I'm like, okay, well, I'm still going. I got a little ways to go. Then he said, yeah, you don't really hit your stride till 70. I'm like, okay, all right, George Fraser. So anyway, thank you, Carmen, for coming on. So I wanted you to really explain to people what it was that you got from being in the Brand Accelerator, where you started and where you are now. And I'm so proud of you. So just tell them all the stuff.
Thank you. You make me feel good too. I'm 60, so that means I still got time.
You just getting started.
I'm just getting started. Okay, so let me tell you all, hey, everybody, it is so good to be here to support Pam. I don't get this opportunity to be in these spaces to say, hey, I think I was in the first Branding Accelerator.
You were.
Okay, so that was an awesome space. She worked us, but it was for good work, because I'm going to tell you why it's good work. So she worked us. I'm going to say, make sure you do the homework. It's hard, but it's so for you. She's so for you. And Pam, I can hear you saying those that show up, go up. Yes. So remember, you all, those that show up, go up. And Pam is like so there with that space. She's really amazing. She gave us all the tools, nuggets, and everything you need. She brought in the best of the best. I've made some of the most amazing friends and connections just from being in the first Branding Accelerated cohort. And I stay in touch with a few of them. And some of the guests that come in, I actually have had them come into some of the platforms that I had. So let me tell you a little bit about where I was at when I got into the Branding Accelerator. And it was it was a great time to get started for me, because I think I was still finishing my doctorate's degree. And I had probably a few months left. And I knew that I had already started that nonprofit. So I had a nonprofit that I kicked off, and it was called Transformation Gems. And so Pam was helping me big time with the nonprofit space. And by the way, I worked for the government at that time as well. And fast forward, the nonprofit started in 2018. It's called Transformation Gems. And what it is it's an organization that empowers women to create businesses, to excel them, and also accelerate them, and empower the women in the community to create systems, legacies, and to become recession proof. And our focus is women of color. And to date, we've probably helped about 100 women. We have a accelerator space. We have an office. And can you believe it? We've had an office through the pandemic. We have not had to shut our space down. So I've had women in our space during the whole pandemic. We were able to kick off an amazing first conference up in Troy, Michigan in 2018. And of course, yours truly, Pam Perry, was our branding speaker who actually brought the house down. So we had an amazing opportunity to put on a conference based on having Pam help us promote this conference. And it was our first one. We sold out probably in about 90 days. And I wish I had more space, because we could have really made a lot more money and touched a lot more lives. So what we did in this nonprofit is we brought women in to come in and share their stories to catapult other women to do the same thing. So when women left this event, they didn't just leave with nuggets of knowing that they can be the best that they could possibly be, but several of them left and started businesses based on the information that Pam shared with me throughout my branding accelerator cohort. So I implemented as much as I could possibly to that audience. And I've done it consistently now. So we're actually getting ready to prepare for our next conference, which is much bigger. And just to let you all know, we have been getting grants. We just recently, at the end of 2021, based on a lot of what Pam taught us on how to go after grants, how to put yourself out there, how to make yourself known, how to get connected, how to, excuse me, speak and share the information that others want from you so that they can grow with you and they can lean in to follow you where you got to go. So Pam has supported all this space and showed us how to do this, but not just do it, but actually walk into this space and be like this you become this expert in who you are after you leave Pam, because Pam is giving you everything you can possibly imagine to be the expert in that space. So I still have this nonprofit, and we won a six-figure grant at the end of the year. So we were like the second largest grant winner from our county here in Michigan. So we covered 3 counties with our grant. And believe it or not, I was able to get that organization trademarked last year. And so we're trademarked. And then I ended up starting another organization based from, I started a women's membership site. So I also was able to catapult another organization called Unstoppable Women's Empire, just based off of what I learned and listened to from what the needs were from these women. So we were able to gather all these women together. And so now we have a women's membership site. And these women, I started it a year ago. I have probably 40 women that's been in here with me throughout the process. We bring in experts to share and show and teach and talk about what we all need to be better, right? So in this group, it's been amazing. It's fulfilling. And I still have a career. I was pursued when I left the government to come into another government space. So I left working for the government to now working with the government. So we actually coach and consult all these executive leaders and also bring in several staff during the pandemic. So we've had an opportunity to work with the governor and all of the people from the Department of Health and Human Services. So we actually got a chance to save lives. So I didn't just do it on my outside, I did it on the inside. So I love it. Pam is amazing. Pam has really helped me in my spaces. And so I've had to hire staff. Just to let you all know. So, Pam talks about that too, because those who go up need to have other people support them. So I've actually hired about 3 staff that work with us inside our city community. But then I also have 2 virtual assistant staff, and I have one who's actually in the Philippines. I've had one in Africa. And then I have someone that's here locally to support some of the things that I do. So we are constantly growing and preparing for our next conference now. We just located and set up the date for November the 12th. We got to find speakers, presenters, and
here we go.
All this good stuff, because we got to get people out there. So yes. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you, awesome. Carmen. So Carmen was actually on the cover of September 2019, but she was also on the back of the cover for August 2019. And she said she sold out her program. People were actually sold out before you could actually get it going, right? You should have got a bigger room, right? You gotta make space. So she was on the back cover talking about transformation, empowerment, and then she was on the cover of Speakers Magazine. We had her everywhere, press releases and all that kind of stuff, but she did get a lot of press. But one of the things about Carmen is she's a fast action taker. So when we would meet weekly, we would have ideas, and I would see the vision in which she would speak and say, okay, well, you need to do this. So when she did her business, and I said, are you part of the local chamber? I think she joined. The local chamber came out. They did this whole ribbon cutting for her. And then she actually was in the newspaper, right? And I think you also did television too. You did one of the stations there as well. I can't remember. Yes. And that was all part of that. And so once you do it, it's like she could do it again, right? She's got this conference coming up in November again, and wash, rinse, and repeat, because if you did it once, you could do it bigger over and over again. So Carmen, thank you so much. Dr. Carmen, thank you so much for being a part of the Branding Accelerator. And then the whole story was written on her as well. She came on some podcasts. We did this whole photo shoot that I helped organize that as well. With the props and all of that. And I mean, she knows the brand now. So that's why she's teaching the other women as well. So that's one of the best things that you can say when you see someone that you have worked with, then they go and they create a membership site. They teach other women, they're empowering other women, they're transforming other women. And that I saw that in Carmen for a while. I knew that that capability was in, and that's one of the things that she was saying, that she still keeps in touch with people. Alicia was a cover of August of 2019, and then Carmen was on the back, and then she was on the front. So that's some of the things when they accelerate, when they're really ready, that we shoot them out the cannon, right? This is the thing. So Carmen, thank you so much. I see Kiara here, but I want to go really quickly to that's Carmen there. She was also in there another article as well, but I wanted to go over with Kiara, but I wanted to show this particular thing about her session, okay? Because one of the things when you're in a the accelerator, she was the first one. So let me go here and share the Zoomy, make sure I'm not making sure that I am letting people in as I'm doing this. So this right here is the Brand Accelerator. So the different cohorts, she was in the first one, which was 2018. Yep, she was 2018. You see her in the middle there with that microphone. And then we had 2019. Yeah, that was the spring cohort there. So this particular one, 2019, just really quick to go over what we went through. And I see Kimberly came on as well. And so Kiara is going to come on after this. But what we go through for the 12 weeks is not just information dumping. It really is transformational. I try to make sure that I tailor each cohort to each particular person that's in it. So making sure that they mesh together. So week one, we always go over the purpose, clarifying your brand, mastering the message, really telling your story to the media, not on stage, but telling it to the media, how to define the client avatar. That sounds like a lot in week one, and we kind of go over a little bit of that every single week, because let me tell you, by the time of the 12th week, they're so clear about their client avatar, like who it is that you're trying to serve, what problem are you trying to solve. With Carmen, she was a little bit clearer about who she was serving, and even like the region that she was serving as well. So she had clarity on that, but there's some people that didn't have clarity on that. I'll give you an example of Vincina Person. Vincina was a nurse. She knew that she loved to talk about self-care and self-love, but she really wasn't sure like what she was selling. She was kind of in some network marketing things and doing the skinny tea. And so she was doing a lot of video to really promote that. What she found was that she really had a knack for doing the videos, this was before Reels, but had a knack for doing a lot of the social media, the Instagram, and really doing the flat lay, and just really, she had a knack for that. So now, knowing what her niche is, she's narrowed it down. It was primarily women. She's teaching women not only about self-care and self-love, but also how to create content, because her content is crazy. She's got like thousands of people following her on Facebook and everything. But that content creation is what she's teaching now. That's what she learned from that. But getting it down clear, it's like, I don't know what I want to do. And so she was selling self-care, self-love t-shirts, and she had the teas, and she was talking, and she got to speak on one of the first stages I put her on as well with Dr. Portia Lockett, talking about self-care and self-love. And so she learned that, but she really found that the space where she helped people the most and she's getting paid is really content creation. So really clarifying your brand. That's where I can help push you out. If you have more clarity, then I can push you out more and make connections for you more and put you in more media. The other one is being on TV. So you want to be on TV. So this particular one, we had Alex Kimbrough and T.J. Mercer on. They were actually on a video here. We did the live session with them, but Alex really is a news producer for about 30 years or so. And he has really, you know, explained to people the ins and outs about how television works. And TJ also too, she's worked with OWN. So she was some of the people that we brought forward. The skinny on the speaking industry, how to get booked and how to get paid. That was another session that we had. Week 4 was really about shining online and how to be noticed by the media. This is one that really, I guess you would say Vincina really, really loved as well, because that kind of had her thinking like, I can get paid to do this, getting paid for web traffic. Social media mastery, that was another one that we talked about, how to get the mystery out of IG, how to tell your story, how to pitch your story. We had from a radio and TV perspective, this was particular one was Denise Hill and Lauren Hudson, who was actually on our Clubhouse yesterday, Nemo, remember that? She was one of the ones that was in there. And then also too, we go into the different weeks, but you see, we go over radio, television, we go on the assets. We even talk about sponsorships for live events. We had someone who was a really key of showing them how to put together sponsorships, how to monetize their influence or the content creator. So you can see how this particular one really talked about a lot of content. So I can see why I've been seeing, I really love that. Repurpose your content, how to leverage it, and how to make it happen with the next steps. That was different from the one that was, say, the one that we just had with Judge Lloyd, LJ, Priscilla, and Lambers and Monica. So theirs was a little bit different. Their recordings and their weeks were, again, always how to showcase your expertise. But say, for instance, like week 7, we went over business strategy with Kadena. So theirs was a little bit more mature because their businesses were more or less into that phase. So each particular branding accelerator, I do take on a different topics for the group. It's not a cookie cutter. It's not cookie cutter. Actually, each one is different. It's probably the hardest way, but I find that people get the most out of it. The last class that we had will be coming up in May. This particular one here, again, was this class was different from the other ones, like in terms of going over publishing. They were more interested in publishing books and that sort of thing. So I'm going to stop and let Kiara, I believe she's here, if she can unmute. I saw her pop in. Kiara Johnson.
Yes,
There you
I
are.
am here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. So tell us what has been going on for you since you have been in the branding accelerator. One of the ones, I saw the picture, so I kind of gave them a little bit like, okay, well, she won that award as well, but some other stuff that's gone on since then.
Yes. So one, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the Branding Accelerator program. It was a wealth of information and connections and tools. And I just want to kind of touch base on what you said earlier about not knowing your audience or what you had going on, and then helping you cultivate that. When I originally joined, I joined with a different company than where I ended up with. So I started with a cell phone charging company called ChargeBot, and I was able to, I was trying to figure out how I could turn this into allowing me to create a brand around this and speaking and showing me like as an entrepreneur and a woman in tech and et cetera. But I was able to meet like some amazing people, like Kimberly was in my cohort. I was actually able to do the event that Dr. Carmen was just talking about. I was actually one of the vendors, and it was a phenomenal event, and Pam was there, and it was just wonderful speakers that helped take me to the next level. I was able to sell out, of my products. So even though you get all of this great information, I'll get into that briefly. But one of the biggest things that I got was connections, a network, a community. And so we are looking for the TV show, the TV stations and the, podcast interviews and the radio interviews and all of that. But you're able to create a community with the people that you go through this program with, the alumni of this program. Pam is the master of connecting people together and getting you the right people that's going to help take your business to the next level. I mean, when she wrote I think she has a book about synergy, and she literally lives in that, in that right there. And so I'm forever grateful. Now, just while I was in the program, a couple things came out of it, and then we still work together now. She helps me in many different ways, even after, just a great mentor. So, and as a coach. So I do recommend you guys just, making sure that you have her as your coach to help take your business to the next level. But we were able to do like a branding photo shoot. So that was really fun. My pictures came out super great. And
during
I actually,
COVID too, like a little, like during
yes,
COVID.
it was, and
We'll go
everybody was
outside.
out there with masks. I was like, I can't take the pictures in the mask, but we're gonna work this out. And Pam came with the props. I mean, she set everything up. I literally just had to show up. And then she was like directing and, made sure that my brand was on target, that my outfits matched the colors, of my logo, that it represented what I needed. I had the opportunity also outside of the photo shoot, I was able to market my business in Speakers Magazine. So what we do, I ended up switching. So she was really good with helping me really find what my niche was and realizing what I really was supposed to be doing versus me just doing something. And that created a huge impact for me. And it got me to, the 6-figure income that I was looking to get to because of her. And I was in business for 3 years before then. And what I made maybe in like my first 3 years of business, when I first joined the Branding Accelerator, I made that in my first 2 months of the new business that she helped me captivate and launch. And I was like, this could not be this easy. This is not real. But I just followed the plan of knowing what my brand was, figuring out who my target market was, what services that I wanted to be able to offer, and then creating a brand around that. And I learned that being in here, and it allowed me to get an award. I won an innovation award with NABO in 2019. I was in Cranes Detroit, like all different types of publications. I did podcasts, TV shows, all types of stuff. And I knew how to have my one sheet, together. So I knew how to pitch these organizations. And even now, she's helping me with my pitching. Because when in the Branding Accelerator, we worked on our 30-second elevator speech. And so, being able to say exactly what we offer. And so I was able to do a couple pitching contests and just get involved and help me craft that. And that really came because of Pam. Press releases as well surrounding the business. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on of all the things that she poured into me. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting it. I'm going to do it. I got this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it all has been beneficial because, like I said, what I made in 3 years in the company that I came in with, when she helped me switch over to what I really should be focusing on, I did it in 2 months.
And that's one of the things, Kiara, thank you. Kiara, thank you so much. One of the things about Kiara is that she's a fast action taker. She does the work. She does the homework. She has a MBA, has a master's degree. Very smart, but a lot of the things that she was doing was out of sequence. And being with someone over 12 weeks, you kind of hear their passion, you hear their heart, and it's like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And it's just like, at a certain point in time, it was like, let's get back to the thing that you really, really love, that you're really, really good at. And knowing, hearing her stories from what she used to do is now what All Things Business Centers is what she does now. She really puts together a lot of the business infrastructure for people who are just starting out in business. Very similar to Carmen, but they have this knack for this. One, they're really passionate about the people that they're working with. So when she talks about community, that's part of it as well. So she really, really cares. But the main thing about Kiara is that when I say, okay, you need to go on this particular one, you need to sign up for this pitch contest, you need to, I'm pushing them because, again, a lot of them, like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to get on TV. I don't have any photos. So I try to obliterate all of those excuses. Like, you're going to do this. You are qualified. I see it in you. You have to see it in yourself. So if she's showing up on a podcast, or one of the things, and I just saw her being a speaker. And one of the things she said not too long ago, she says, I think I'm ready to speak. I'm like, oh, okay. I knew it. I knew it was in her. And so she's speaking at conferences and doing all the things that I saw in them in the beginning, but they had to get their brand assets and then they had to see themselves in this space as well. So Kiara, you're doing it. I see more for you, being on more stages and being on more television shows and doing the things like that with your content. You know, I really do. I see it. So it's coming. It's coming. You know, people work at their own pace, but they know that they can always go back into the accelerator, get the information, pull down the downloads of the different things as well. That's just, it's always there. It's always there. So let me share this really quick here. So one of the things, this is 2021, because I just saw Lambert's come in. One of the things that I think is week number 4. Okay, your story, your brand, your business success sweet spot. So this particular one has different handouts. That was different from, even though it may be over the same subject, I put together different handouts for them. This one is your story, your brand homework, how to get clients on LinkedIn. So you hear me always talk about LinkedIn. Well, this particular group really did have more success with LinkedIn. And then there's a book in here called LinkedIn for Baby Boomers. So that was different for them because going back. So Monica, I don't know if Monica's going to be on. Monica has found success on LinkedIn, like to the point where it was, okay, she posted something on LinkedIn. I want to say, was it PBS, I believe, that called her because they saw her post that she had posted about LinkedIn. And it was the audience for that. She could have put it on Facebook as well. She could have put it on Twitter, but particular one, this was LinkedIn. The same thing with Judge. Judge and Monica have worked together about their LinkedIn. Lambert's, I see him on as well. I don't know if he wants to speak as well. And then Priscilla and LJ. LinkedIn was where they are. It's like Vincina loved Instagram and Facebook, but this particular group was LinkedIn. So their particular classes were different than the other ones. This one is how to create and launch and produce your own TV show and how to get booked on TV. We had Joy Sutton, who is a TV producer, tell them actually the secret sauce of how to produce their own television show. This was fabulous. I really, really love this. And this was particular for Judge Lloyd because, and Monica, both of them, I can see them doing television. So knowing that over the 12 weeks, hearing their stories, seeing where they want to land, I pulled together the experts. And like what Kiara says, you know, I know how to pull the right people at the right time together for the right project. And that's it. And Joy was excellent at this. And that's one of the things. So I see that week number 6 or 8, I see, so sometimes we'll have like planning sessions, and this one is like their checklists and things like that. So it's not just all information every single week. Sometimes I have to hear the hot seats about what it is, where they're stuck, what do you need to do? So it's just like a Q&A, like, okay, I'm stuck here, or how do I find a person that can help me with that? I need someone that can help me with the website. I need someone to help me with photos. I need someone overseas. How do I find them? All that kind of stuff. So those are like, we'll have like a pause, like implementation. Let's talk it out. Let's walk it through. I see Judge, if you could come, where's Judge? There you are. Okay, unmute yourself. I was looking for the word Judge, so you get your name in here, Jesnianya. So if you can unmute and come on in, there you are, Judge.
I'm trying.
Okay, there you are. Because I was looking at, I see you, I hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay, because I'm looking for a little thing. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, everything so far. Hi, Dr. Pam, and I'm happy to be here. And for those people who are contemplating, this is one of the best programs you can get into to see where you're supposed to go. You know, I hear ever since meeting Pam, I had never heard the word branding used as much. And then it was all over the place. Everybody was brand this, brand that. My lawyer in California, brand, like your brand. I'm like, wait a minute, you ain't never said your brand to me before. but
it's your brand expert now.
Right, I had already learned what my brand was. And so I learned that with this class and this program. And it wasn't a question I had in my mind before. And a lot of things that this program showed me, And as I was doing the homework, and I already know you got to do homework. You got to do the homework because you are there in your own world with that book that you print out that you are reading. And it's making you do the work because it's going to stick with you. It's going to stick with you. You're going to look at it. And then when someone approaches you, and I got asked this question, it was after the last award that I got for the book, right? And the doctor that
Gotten
I always tell
five,
you
by the
about,
way. She's gotten
yeah,
5 book awards.
yeah. And he's like, Judge, whatever you want to do, tell me, I'm in it, whatever. And I already know his organization reaches out to many, many people, and they have a lot of money. And so I'm in the next program now, but I'm redefining before I step out there because I know it's going to be a chain reaction. But I learned all of this in terms of you just don't jump out there, and it's so funny when we did the one about the media. And but the folks that want to just step out there and go immediately after they do a book to Oprah and all of that. Well, I got my relatives over here saying the same stuff. I said, I already know the answer. I said, I got to calm them down. I said, you take the smaller steps and you have to be ready. And I understood all of that when Pam was bringing on everybody to explain all this kind of stuff to us. And I said, I've walked a little different path, so I know what she's saying, and I know that's right. And I said, they just don't know how right that is. Because if you are trying to go too fast, you get there, you're not ready, you look unprofessional, you don't get another shot. You get one shot sometimes. That's it. And if you mess up, that's it. You're yesterday's news. I mean, they don't want to deal with you. But if you make your impression the right way, you come ready. I learned that not just in this program, but Pam was also my publicist for my book. And I watched her do all these things that she is now teaching me and the rest of us how to do this. And I saw her carry it out, and it went like clockwork. And I was like, and I remember my head was spinning because I was like, she's just doing all these things at one time. And then the next thing I know, I'm talking on a lot of shows and I'm doing all this stuff. And
The one show that I remember you did was Black News Channel, which, love Black
yeah,
News Channel, but we had to support them. And then the other one was American Black Journal, the PBS
right.
station, and then also the Chavis Chronicles, which is definitely going to be aired as well. But the PBS shows and those kind of things were the ones for Judge versus, knowing everybody and getting her ready. But one of the main things about Judge Floyd was that she has a memoir called Your Honor, Your Honor, but her digital footprint needed to be built out. And a lot of that was the branding part of that she needed, but it's like getting the foundational right, making sure that the website was SEO, making sure she had an email list, making sure that she was that when the awards that she won, that was on the website, that her previous media kits were there. I mean, it was like a lot of things she had to do really fast because they weren't done. But one of the things that I want to say, anyone who is over 60, thinking like, oh, is it too late for me? I don't know if I can do it. If Judge can do it, I'm over 60, I'll be 62. There's just things that you have to do in the online world. There's just certain ways that you just have to do it, and you have to know how to flow with it. You don't have to be like the TikTok expert or any of that kind of stuff, but you do know how to work social media. You do have to know how to reach out on LinkedIn. You do have to know how to follow the media on Twitter. I mean, there's certain things you have to do. I don't want people to feel overwhelmed, but I do show you a better way to do it so that you could at least go at your own pace. And so there's certain things about getting your name.com was really, really key. We were not going to not be without our name.com. And there's certain ways where I even tell people, I said, you need to change your email. Sometimes you need to change your email so that it can match your domain name. So there's certain things that I look at and I audit people and I say, okay, I see all of your things that you have. We need to change this one in order to fit together so that it flows smoother so that you can go further in media. That's really the main thing. So you can go further in media and get on more platforms. So that's really, really key. Is there anything else, Judge, you wanted to?
Well, the only thing is, and one of the other speakers spoke on it, targeting my market, what my niche is. You sent me information. I signed up on those things to even get even more into that in my head, what my market was. And that is really key. I mean, it is so key, because how you know your market and your niche and how you approach it and find out what it is they want from you, all those things that you taught. And I applied that to a couple of the different speaking things I agreed to do. And I approached it a little differently. And I saw that it worked out perfectly, you know, because they were like, "Oh, we're just so excited." And I said, I found out what I needed to know, what they wanted from me. You know, that wasn't always a question I would ask. I would definitely want to know, like, you know, what's the topic, that kind of thing that I'm going to speak on. But I needed to know what do they need from me, you know. And when I did that, I mean, I've even gotten people, even those that contacted me through the court system that were defendants, and now they you know, one girl, it would spread it like wildfire. Oh, judge, you know, see, you helped us. I just, and then it was like Judge Lloyd's on the phone with this girl, and they all need stuff. They need me to do this. And this girl's like, "You can write my story. I'm better than Tyler Perry. By the time you finish with my," I said, "Honey, I'm not a writer. I write about me. I don't write about other people." I said, but you know, it was a compliment, but the bottom line is that was not my niche to do that. Okay, that's,
And
I already know that. And, you know, I'm not volunteering for that.
yeah.
But it's like I already know, in terms of, from my experiences and what you've taught in this program, how I've got to target things, how I've got to focus on things. And she's right. I'm definitely, I don't know, some flash. I'm definitely a poster child for it ain't over till it's over. Okay, simple as that. And I won't say my age, but I think I look good for it. Bottom line.
You do,
Is
you
that
do.
bottom line? You know, you're here for a reason and a purpose. And I discovered what my purpose was. This program helped me discover my true purpose. Even my book talks about my purpose, but that was my purpose of things that I was doing and why I wrote that book. And now it goes beyond that. It goes beyond the purpose that I'm here in life. And the book was nothing but one of the steps I took to accomplish the purpose that I had. But I learned all that, you know, and sometimes you can get so much information, you know, my head would be like, "Oh, you know, can I contain all of this?" And just calm down, again, calm down. And my boyfriend said, you know, "What's that book over there you read now?" You know, when I'm on Clubhouse with Pam, people throw these books out. I get every book. I get every book. I stack them up. And he's like, "Are you reading that one, you know, about the influencers and the this and the that?" I'm like, "I'm coming over here taking out my books now." Okay. I learned these things based upon my being in this program, and it just mushrooms out. It just
Yep.
mushrooms out.
Yep.
And everything connects. And it's just like my whole life is taking a turn. And I always say God guides my steps. So he guided me here. And it's like, this is where I'm going next. And it's an exciting ride. And I'm helping other people. I've set up my dates with Kadena. I already know she's gonna help me make money doing it. Okay, she's gonna help me.
That's the whole point of it, Judge. It's like we've got all this kind of thing. So I was going through this was a cohort after you. So she was talking about Kadena. So one of the things about reinventing your business model, your speaker business model, she's one of our guest experts in there, because if you've heard us on Clubhouse, we do a deep dive about how to reinvent your speaker model. She kind of goes through that with that, and then we actually have a handout. So each week we go over something different, but one of the main things is that we tailor it to each group. And so right now we have you know, we're taking media pitching that's obviously one of the main courses of it, but we can't really pitch the media until, like what Jed says, until you really know your niche. Like, who are you talking to? A lot of the stuff we're talking about, website traffic, and this is not for every class. Not every class may need it because they may have this already. So this one was a particular one where we're talking about organic traffic, leads, and sales, and we really talk about the whole process of how to really optimize your website. But again, each person has a different one that we go through. So I'm gonna go through some of the branding, the blueprint of branding. All right. So some of the, I'm gonna go back to one of the grants, but just quickly about the branding blueprint. And one of the reasons why Carmen, Kiara, Judge as well, and Lambert's as well, Lambert's is on here as well, is that in order to build the brand, she says, oh, I never heard so much about the word brand as you know, as we hear now. It's like a buzzword, but really the main thing is your verifiable expertise. She's a judge, she's an attorney. She, you know, has this body of work. Carmen is a body of work, PhD, all of that, you know, Kiara, her expertise, her things that she have, verifiable. The messaging, the talking points, and the niche is really the key part. After you have the verifiable expertise, you know what problem you're solving and who you're solving it for. All right. And you can articulate that with brevity to the person who needs that information. Then crafting the content. What some people love that, like I talk about Vincina. Vincina loved content. So does Dr. Missy. Dr. Missy loves content, but crafting the content strategy that attracts that niche, because you have the verifiable expertise. You are the subject matter expert, whether it's for media or it's for your client. And then finding the right media. You know, I was talking earlier about Essence. Essence may not be for everyone, but if it is going to be for you, you have to study Essence to know which particular writers write on what. All right. Whether they write on career, lifestyle, money, you have to know who writes on what. You just can say, oh, I want to be in Essence. Okay, well, who? What section? What writer? How does that fit in? Have you read a story similar to that? So I help people really understand how to find the right media. I go through and showing them how to find it, what to say, how to write a press release, how to write a pitch, all of that, and how to write the pitch precisely to the right media. You know, you can't just slam on and just be at, you know, hit one pitch letter and send it to everybody. That's not going to work. That will not work. So one of the things that I do with the branding blueprint is really going through these steps so that you can wash, rinse, and repeat for each particular one. So I want to bring on, if we can, if Lambers, if you wanted to jump on really quick, or one of my accelerators. I don't know who's next. Who's next? Is it Lambert? Okay, there you are.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Sure.
Lambert.
Well,
okay, there you go. Hey, you got on your brand colors.
yeah, which is one of the things I'm getting used to a little bit more so, and it's those type of things that even as I was explaining to my wife as I was going through the program, it's like, so what are you learning? It's like, I can't give you 5 bullet points. It's so much, and that's the thing. And one of the things that was clear before then. She was very clear, you know, at the end of every day, my girls had gone to bed and I'm washing dishes or something, and she'll notice you always listen to somebody's webinar or somebody's, you know, free YouTube, you know, thing, try to soak up as many little pieces as I can for free. It's like that's cool. Or I can get intense coaching in so many different ways. And I learned so much more in the Accelerator program. I'm feverishly writing down notes. It's like I've gotten more in each 1-hour session than weeks of scrounging around for little pieces of nuggets everywhere, and that's kind of what made it worth it. It was a lot about a little bit about a lot of things, and then when necessary, you went in depth, which is great. And so it was kind of so many different ways in which, yeah, I'd heard a little bit about it, but then you personalized it to where each of us was, which I appreciate a lot, because you saw where we all had our strengths coming in. It's like, okay, you already got that. I won't double down on that and waste your time. But here's how you can enhance what you're already doing and take it further. And that's what I appreciated in so many different ways. And so I've been able to practically put that into practice, not only immediately in the small tweaks, but then as more opportunities have come about, then I could put that into place with, you know, just the seemingly simple things, but I've gained a greater appreciation for clarity in mission. It's like, okay, I can talk about a lot of things, but becoming that go-to content expert, I didn't have any clue how beneficial that would be, because, you know, I can speak about a lot of things, but then people don't necessarily know you about that in that way. And so when I've gotten, you know, a few radio, you know, guest speaking opportunities, podcasting guest speaking opportunities, a few TV breaking news things happening, and somebody says, you know, who I got an email from, you know, NBC or ABC or something like that, and then it was like, we were told by somebody that you were a person to go to about this. It's like, that's the whole point. That's what Pam was talking about this
Yeah.
whole time. You can talk about a lot of different things, but if you become a content expert on a particular thing, then yes, you have the opportunity to share those things, but you get known. And so that balance between seeking out, the pitching is one side, but then being sought out is a whole different thing, and they go hand in hand. And so I appreciate that. Not only that, but if you can't tell, I still have that tendency to speak fast. And so when Pam say, hey, if you get on that, if that camera gets on you, slow down,
Yes. Yes.
be
Because
clear, because your
yeah.
message won't
Yeah.
be
That's so
heard
true.
if you don't. And so it's like, then speak clearly and concisely and prepare, have messages in your back pocket. Figure out
Mhm.
what you want to say on any given topic, have it in your back pocket, always be ready. So you don't have to figure it out when they come. It's like those, yeah. Oh, I still,
You still do
I
that?
actually tried that. It's very
That was
good.
like one of those
And
tips.
so,
It's like, okay, that's a tip. But
it,
it is, we go behind
exactly.
the scenes on the things
Yeah.
that we talk as a group. We bring in the experts, and then we have the off times with them. And then I will email them in between with Lambert's, who's doing the podcast. And it's a podcast in Minneapolis, and it's a large podcast network. And at first I was unsure, and then we did the research. I was like, "Ooh, yes, we definitely," because the person
Okay.
who's on the podcast network has been on Good Morning America, Today Show, and that sort of thing. So she has a large platform. So he's kind of leveraging her platform by being on her platform and really being an expertise in his area. So he's getting more and more known. One of the things about Lambert's that I just realized that because he's in the mental health space, a lot of people are Googling him for different things. And then diversity is really big. Diversity Made Simple is the name of his book, is that people were Googling him, but they couldn't find him on one particular platform. LinkedIn, he was good, but Twitter. So now he's on Twitter. So whenever his podcasts and things go out, he puts it on LinkedIn and puts it on Twitter, which makes more media find you if they Google you. Because when you pitch them, they're going to Google you. So we want to make sure that all that's in alignment as well. And Judge too, Judge has a Twitter account as well. She has something pinned on her Twitter account, which is her book trailer. So she has that pin. She may not be active, but at least I show them how to pin something on Twitter. So we don't go into a whole lot of social media, but it's like certain things. It's like boom, boom, boom. Please do this. Please do that. Make sure that you do this. And then I had you all come on Clubhouse. That was part of it as well, for you to practice your pitch. And then also too, I'm making sure that I'm retweeting you guys information and all that kind of stuff and sharing it out. So it's like we're a cohort together. I just saw Monica come on as well. Morgan, I don't know if she has a second or so, but I saw her come on as well. But Lambert, did you have anything else? I want to make sure I go through all of this. You're good?
Yeah, it's a good summary. Appreciate it.
Cool. All right. So that was one of the main things that with Lambert's, that he has an area of expertise that was different than Judge's, different than Monica's, but they all work together. So one of the things I just want to say too, that media matters, and it's not just about TV. TV, people love the TV thing, but don't sleep on print. I talk about print a lot. Obviously, I publish Speakers Magazine, but either you can be featured in the publication or you can write for the publication. And I really am a big proponent, because all of you all are subject matter experts, whether it's Kiara, Carmen, Monica, they're all writers, Judge, they're all writers. So writing for the companies, because especially Black press too, that they don't have a lot of staff. So they need people who are subject matter experts that can pen a public article for publication. Fast Company, Success Magazine. So don't sleep on print. Speakers Magazine, you see there, Bishop Vashti, she's been on the cover a couple of times, one of my favorite people. Becky, who was on the cover of Speakers Magazine, she actually got, because she was on the cover of Speakers Magazine, she got on Fox Soul TV, telling her story as well. And then there's Dr. Shirley as well, that I met at particular ones, and she was featured in the magazine as well. So the one thing that talk about the value of the Branding Accelerator course, again, it's not just about the information, it's about implementation. But if you were to just do the course training just by itself, and I'm not there, just by yourself, is roughly $2,000. And we've sold the digital version without me for $2,000. So that's just all the 12 modules, all the handouts, all the downloads, and all of that. Then the contacts, like, Kiara was saying, hooking her up with different people, or you have to meet people, in your city. Sometimes I'll do a deep dive, and LJ will say that too. It's like, hey, did you know about this one? And I've got her in a local newspaper in her own city. She's in Houston and I'm in Detroit, but I'll make sure that they know the contacts because I have so many media contacts. And then content creation. What I do is I actually provide press releases or certain things for them, or rewrite bios. Content creation is really, really important. I can't have any of the accelerators go out with a brand that's not correct. So I will help them with content creation, whether it is, an article, a bio, or something like that, but making sure their content creation or press release. Also communicating with me via text, via email. They know that they may get a random email or a random text. It's like, hey, you need to do this, or you need to do that. And they'll be like, why did she send me this? What is this about? But they'll know that I'm really about just providing that, from week to week, spending an hour with them, listening to what I need to hear in order to move them forward, but also to in between the 12 weeks of just really being like their personal coach and making sure they're getting everything. It's not a big program, so people can't hide. It's not like a classroom, like you got 30 people and then there's people sitting in the back. Everybody's sitting in the front row. Everybody is in the front row. So I need to hear from everyone so I can say, okay, you need to change your website. You need to put this in your book, or you need to contact this person, or there are certain instructions for each person that just part of the gifting is just knowing what I see in that person and then how to pull that out of them and who to connect them with. And if I see that they're not doing it, then it's like, okay, then I think like, what can I do to help move them along? If they're stuck in something, what is it they need? And then maybe they need something as simple as a virtual assistant, and that's something that definitely, if you need a virtual assistant, then we can show you how to get a virtual assistant. Creative critiques, again, from everything from pictures to lighting. I will even say, your Zoom background needs to be changed. And sometimes I will go in, all of the accelerators know that I'm very straightforward and blunt. It's like, okay, your lighting is too dark, or you need to fix this or whatever. So I will definitely give my creative critiques. And then also what Kiara talked about, the community, Carmen as well, about the community, about really coming together. What I like, what Monica Morgan did with Judge is that she helped her, once Monica got on the thing about LinkedIn, because I talked about that a lot, she then reached out and helped Judge just a little bit more hands-on type of thing, making sure that her LinkedIn was up to speed. And the Judge is saying, I've been getting so many more requests and things like that on LinkedIn, because you can, I call it the grown folks Facebook, right? That's one of the main things. So all of that together is $16,000 in value in the 12 weeks, right? But it's not 16,000. For 12 weeks, it's only 7,500, right? And one of the main things is that you can do a deposit of 1,500, and then you can get a one-on-one with me, meaning like I do an entire brand audit, meaning like I'll look at your books, I'll look at your website, I'll even look at your email, I'll look at your social media. Is it consistent? I'll just put all of your brand assets down on the table and look at it and say, okay, this is what we need to change. This is what we need to fix. These are the people that can fix it for you. We need to get this up to speed, because that's one of the foundational things. We can't get you out in major press if your stuff is raggedy, right? So, you can learn about it through the course as well, but you need someone to really just like take a look at it really, really close up. That's what I'll do. And then, or you can do $2,500 a month for 3 months. And we start on May 24th. It is Tuesday, 7 o'clock. And we know we meet always Tuesday, 7 o'clock. And we'll go until the end of August. And so by those 12 weeks, you would have felt like an accelerator yourself, like you have accelerated. It's not accelerate like you're overwhelmed, but I'm making sure that I'm laying the tracks down for you so that you can move fast. So we're laying down the tracks week to week. Those are some of the main things that we do. So you can go, and like I said, for each accelerator, I have to talk to them directly, because there's some people that won't be a fit with the other accelerators that I'm thinking of bringing in. So it is really a group. It really is a group. So you can go to acceleratorprogram.com fill out the application. I'll ask a series of questions so I can see where you are, because if you're not ready for the accelerator, I won't put you in it. There's another program I have, the Ready, Set, Go, Speak. It's a lot of the information in there. It's a little bit more, so it's like a starter program, but you could start there and then move to the accelerator. But if you're not part of the, not chosen for the accelerator, don't feel bad. It's like, okay, well, I'm just not a good person. No, it's just that you need to just get some more information in order to get to the accelerator. You know, one of the main things, you need a website, probably need a book. You need to know your platform, what it is, so that we can build it out. So if you don't have a platform, this is not the place, right? So those are really the main things. So May 24th goes for 3 months, 12 weeks, sitting with me and the other experts as well. Depending on what the cohort is, I bring in the experts. It may be someone on influencer marketing. It may be someone who's on podcast development. It may be someone that's a TikTok. I don't know, maybe I have a group that loves TikTok, like a TikTok expert. I'm on TikTok, but not an expert, not to teach it. So I am very aware of my skills. Media, I know. PR, I know, but TikTok, not me. So that's really like the main thing. If there's any questions, ask them now. Or I saw Monica come in. Let me look over here. Hey, Felicia. Hey, Kimberly. Kimberly, let me unmute Kim. Kimberly Richardson, did you want to say? Oh, there's Monica. Hey there. How are you?
Hey Pam, I'm great. How are you?
Good, good, good. I saw you come in and I let you in. And then there's Priscilla as well. So Priscilla, Monica, Lambers, and Judge, they were all in the cohort together. And just seeing where each one of you all are now is really, really good. Priscilla, I'm really excited about. And then Monica, I know I didn't think you were going to be on because you have a big thing on Friday, right?
Yes, I do. And I had a speech earlier today. So, but
So
when Pam calls, you got to answer because she does that for you. So,
and I always tell people, what you pray for, you get. So Monica was like, I want to speak more. I want to speak more. So tell them what the last couple of weeks, where have you been speaking, Miss Lady?
I spoke at Rotary Club at the Detroit Athletic Club last week. I participated in a pitch contest where I placed third, but I won the popular vote. So thank you. There are some people here who were there to support me. And Friday night, I have a 1-hour keynote for a Toastmasters district, which I speak from the heart. So it's a little difficult preparing, but I'm excited about it.
Is that 1 hour straight?
1 hour straight on Zoom.
Oh my God. Okay.
Exactly. 1 hour
Right.
straight. So it's very exciting. But
Who did you have a call from this week?
Oh, Les Brown called me, and that was exciting because I admire him. I listen to his speeches all of the time. And I actually met him because of Pam years ago. There were other speakers, Lisa Nichols, that I met because of Pam, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough that I met because of Pam. However, I wasn't interested in speaking, so I didn't realize how important that would be to me. So now it's all coming together, and I'm still receiving some of their emails, Pam, like Valerie Burton, because of you. I met her because of you, and I get her emails. But I'd like to say to everyone that I heard Lambers talk about clarity, and that's something that really helped me because I, of course, was all over the place. I was waiting on God to send me this message that you need to talk about this and you need to talk about that. And Pam said, you need to talk about how people come to you for money, where you make your money, which is photography and how you look on camera. So it was basic when Pam said that. And I kept thinking, no, Pam, not that. But it made so much sense. And it worked.
I kept sending her links after links, links after links, links. I said the TED Talks and links. I was like, look, they're doing the same program. They don't have as much. And so you have a webinar coming up as well, teaching people
about how to show up on camera and online and in photos and in video. There's just a lot going on. I'm also teaching photography programs because of Pam. So I'm working with Black United Fund of Michigan. And I have a photo shoot next week with Junior Achievement, and they want me to do some things in the speaking arena as well. So all of these things came about with Pam. And I want you all to know, beware, Pam is the Energizer Bunny. She doesn't sleep. She does not sleep. And you will get a message on Instagram, on LinkedIn, you will get a text, you will get an email. Pam is out there working on your behalf 24/7. I don't know when she sleeps. So she is.
But I do want you to do that book. There is a thing that I see for people, and until they do it, I'm not settled. I'm a little restless about it. So for Monica, I see her doing the book, and she's going to do the children's book too for photography. That's just her heart and her passion. And a lot of times I say, what is the business model around it? And because she's a creative, I have to slow her down and say, let's do this, because this is where your money is. This is where you're going to make the money right now. You can still do that other stuff, Priscilla, you know, because Priscilla can come on and talk too about where's your money right now? What are people asking you for? And so anyway, so she was doing all these other books that have all these other kind of topics on it. And it's like, you know, that's fine. But what's your main one? She's an award winner, international photographer. We have no photography book, but she's going to have one this year.
In the works, thanks to Pam and her inspiration. So.
Yes. Thank you.
And one other thing, when you're in the Branding Accelerator, it's like a family. Everyone is there pushing you, encouraging you, supporting you. And we're still in touch with each other. So that means a lot as well. Having someone that gets it and they get you and that will help you continue to grow.
And support each other. I mean, even if you just like each other's posts and retweet each other's stuff, that's it. That's at the very least, you know, because sometimes we can put stuff on Instagram and it's like, dang, only 2 people liked it. It was me and my mom, you know what I'm saying? Like we want to at least support each other from that standpoint. So that's one of the main things. Priscilla, I see that you came on, and I know Priscilla, she has been a graduate that persevered through a lot. Her mom and then her mother-in-law, both of them, she was caregiving on both ends of that. And during that time, she would be traveling and that sort of thing, but she still completed the program, did her book launch. I want her to come on really quick, if you can, to tell us about how things ended up for you with your book launch. Can you unmute? Can you unmute? Yeah.
So
there you are.
Exciting, but you know, when God puts something in front of you, you have to, and this is through Pam too, you've got to jump on it and move with it. And so the vice mayor of Miramar actually sponsored the book launch. So it was actually at City Hall. And I mean, there were elected officials there, and they just kept coming and coming. There was a drone there, and it was so much. And I do have I met today with the person that put the video together, so I'm going to release that probably tomorrow. Good. But also the training, I was trying to run away from training, but Pam was like, do you really want to run away, or do you want to build on it? And she said, where do you make the most money? Where do you get your money from? From training. And so I was kind of like Monica, and it was just amazing that coming out of COVID, I was hired to do a double training, 2 trainings, and it was huge. And I think I got more money for each one that I have ever gotten for one training. And everything right this minute is just moving so quickly. Like they tell you, you have to be ready. And so everything is just moving all at once, and I'll go into a little more at another time. But I'm still working it. So there was so much in your program that I learned and I needed to do and did not realize it. And so it's kind of like, whoa, what do I do now? Where do I go now? Even if I remember it, it's just so much there. So I'm trying to work it at the same time. The money is.
I appreciate it, because one of the things that when someone is seasoned like we are, you know, have been in a career for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or, you know, it's like, it's easy to say, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. But Priscilla, Judge, Monica, Lambert, you know, one of the first things I was saying about your foundational, the websites and things like that, to really understand how people are searching in the first impressions that people have about your website. And you know, working it out, getting the email list. I mean, I'm saying it over and over again. They were showing up on Clubhouse besides working with me for an hour, right? An hour and a half on a Tuesday. Then I would have them on Clubhouse as well. But it showed them the fact that how to build community in a you know, I think Letitia Nicole, she was one of the ones, she created her own clubhouse and she's got people in there as well. And she does like regular clubhouse and, you know, she does transformational Tuesdays because she's a transformational speaker. I mean, there's certain ideas that I see for you all, and just do them in sequence. You don't have to do them all at one time. But when you did your book launch, you know that your website is coming up next, and it just kind of like puts you and positions you in a different space. So people are going to come to you for conflict resolution training or DEI training, because that's what your book was about. That's your signature book. So when it was your website, when will it be redone or relaunched?
Now, this week, I'll probably launch it on Monday.
Okay,
because
and the video,
It's all
and the-
kinds. The video, now that I have it, I want her to put it on the website so that with the drone is on the website when I
there we
launch it.
go. There we
Yeah.
go. That is when you then, what do we do after we have something that's new, that's newsy? We put out a press
Press release.
press release. So I'm just still giving the little steps, you know, because when you launch something new, you want to put out a press release, and that way people will go to the site and she'll get traffic and all that. So anyway, I digress. I'm 15 minutes over. I apologize. I apologize for everyone that's been on. I see Gabrielle, my intern, is here as well. Hey, Gabrielle. So I see her on as well. So I really wanted to make sure that everybody heard from all the accelerators. Hey, Sharon, and just really understand that we're starting May 24th. Again, I'll put this back up here again. We're starting on May 24th. It'll be Tuesdays and 7 o'clock. Again, if you want to apply, go to brandingacceleratorprogram.com, and we'll have a conversation, fill out the application, and we'll move forward from there. You know, if this is something that you think you want to do right now, I'm not saying that you won't have fun over the summer, but I will say by the fall, you will be ready for that fourth quarter and you'll be banging. Okay. So, you know, you got to invest in order to advance. So that's one of the main things I always say, you got to invest in order to advance. So if you really want to go up in that fourth quarter, like we graduated at the end of August, you hit September, October, November, December. Those are really, if you're an author, that's where most of the books are sold, in that last quarter of the year. So I just said that. So if there are any questions from anyone in the audience, I haven't been looking at the chat. If you've been putting something in there, I haven't seen it. Okay. For background, I'm a college professor and author and speaker. This is perfect for those that are an author and speaker. That's really what it's for. Those that are subject matter experts, for sure. So with that, if there are any other questions, you got me, you know, email me, Pam@PamPerryPR.com, but go to brandingacceleratorprogram.com. Thank you so much, Judge, Lambert, Priscilla, Monica, Kimberly, Kiara was on earlier, and Dr. Carmen, she left earlier, but thank you all so much for joining. You all are doing good. All righty, so I will talk with you later. I'm Pam Perry, and I am out. Have a good one. All righty, bye-bye.
Thanks, Pam.
All righty, bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
See you all. Thank you.